Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A reserve of money set aside for some purpose. A financial institution that sells shares to individuals and invests in securities issued by other companies. A supply of something available for future use. Accumulate a fund for the discharge of a recurrent liability. Fund a medical care plan. Convert short-term floating debt into long-term debt that bears fixed interest and is represented by bonds. Furnish money for. The government funds basic research in many areas. Invest money in government securities. Place or store up in a fund for accumulation. Provide a fund for the redemption of principal or payment of interest. A reserve of money set aside for some purpose. A financial institution that sells shares to individuals and invests in securities issued by other companies. A financial institution that sells shares to individuals and invests in securities issued by other companies. A financial institution that sells shares to individuals and invests in securities issued by other companies. The handle of a handgun or the butt end of a rifle or shotgun are part of the support of a machine gun or artillery gun. The rifle had been fitted with a special stock. The merchandise that a shop has on hand. Persistent thickened stem of herbaceous perennial plant. Any of several Old World plants cultivated for their brightly colored flowers. Repeated too often. Overfamiliar through overuse. A stalk answer. Put forth and grow sprouts or shoots. The descendants of one individual. Any of various ornamental flowering plants of the genus Malcolmia. A special variety of domesticated animals within a species. Have on hand. A supply of something available for future use. Any animals kept for use or profit. A certificate documenting the shareholder's ownership in the corporation. The value of his stocks doubled during the past year. Amass so as to keep for future use or sale or for a particular occasion or use. Let's stock coffee as long as prices are low. Regularly and widely used or sold. A stock item. Liquid in which meat and vegetables are simmered, used as a basis for e.g. soups or sauces. She made gravy with a base of beef stock. An ornamental white cravat. A plant or stem onto which a graft is made, especially a plant grown specifically to provide the root part of grafted plants. Equip with a stock. Stock a rifle. Lumber used in the construction of something. They will cut round stock to 1-inch diameter. Provide or furnish with a stock of something. Stock the larder with meat. Routine. A stock answer. Supply with fish. Stock a lake. Supply with livestock. Stock a farm. The capital raised by a corporation through the issue of shares entitling holders to an ownership interest, equity. He owns a controlling share of the company's stock. The handle end of some implements or tools. He grabbed the cue by the stalk. The reputation and popularity a person has. His stock was so high he could have been elected mayor. An electronic memory device. A depository for goods. Storehouses were built close to the docks. A mercantile establishment for the retail sale of goods or services. Keep or lay aside for future use. Store grain for the winter. A supply of something available for future use. He brought back a large store of Cuban cigars. Find a place for and put away for storage. I couldn't store all the books in the attic, so I sold some. The most common medium of exchange functions as legal tender. We tried to collect the money he owed us. The official currency issued by a government or national bank. He changed his money into francs. Wealth reckoned in terms of money. All his money is in real estate. A financial institution that funds their investment activities from the sale of securities or insurance. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. The act of accumulating. An increase by natural growth or addition. Finance. Profits that are not paid out as dividends but are added to the capital base of the corporation. Put together out of existing material. Compile a list. Get or gather together. Use a computer program to translate source code written in a particular programming language into computer-readable machine code that can be executed. Get or gather together. She is amassing a lot of data for her thesis. Collect or gather. Call for and obtain payment of. We collected over $1 million in outstanding debts. Assemble or get together. Get or gather together. Payable by the recipient on delivery. A collect call. Gather or collect. Get or bring together. A short prayer generally preceding the lesson in the Church of Rome or the Church of England. Show certain properties when being rolled. Form a cylinder by rolling. Roll up a banner. Get or gather together. Form into a cylinder by rolling. Make into a bundle. Arrive in a vehicle. Close a car window by causing it to move up, as with a handle. Get or gather together. Arrange into piles or stacks. Collect or gather. Get or gather together. Collect or gather. Save up as for future use. Get or gather together. A secret store of valuables or money. Obtain or provide money for. Can we finance the addition to our home? Sell or provide on credit. The branch of economics that studies the management of money and other assets. The commercial activity of providing funds and capital. The management of money and credit and banking and investments. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Provide with power and authority. Place ceremoniously or formally in an office or position. Make an investment. Give qualities or abilities to. Furnish with power or authority, of kings or emperors. Give entirely to a specific person, activity, or cause. She committed herself to the work of God. Perform an act, usually with a negative connotation. Cause to be admitted, of persons to an institution. After the second episode, she had to be committed. Make an investment. Engage in or perform. Commit a random act of kindness. Confer a trust upon. I commit my soul to God. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. Attribute or give. She put too much emphasis on the last statement. Formulate in a particular style or language. I wouldn't put it that way. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. I put these memories with those of bygone times. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Make an investment. The option to sell a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. Estimate. We put the time of arrival at 8 p.m. Adapt. Put these words to music. Cause someone to undergo something. He put her to the torture. Cause to be in a certain state. Cause to be in a certain relation. That song put me in awful good humor. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Supply blankets for the beds. Give something useful or necessary to. State or say further. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The activity of supplying or providing something. An amount of something available for use. Offering goods and services for sale. Give something useful or necessary to. We provided the room with an electrical heater. Supply means of subsistence. Earn a living. He provides for his large family by working 3 jobs. Mount or put up. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This procedure provides for lots of leeway. Determine what is to happen in certain contingencies, especially by including a proviso condition or stipulation. The will provides that each child should receive half of the money. Take measures in preparation for. Provide for the proper care of the passengers on the cruise ship. Give something useful or necessary to. Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Render fat in a casserole. Give an interpretation or rendition of. The pianist rendered the Beethoven sonata beautifully. Bestow. Render thanks. To surrender someone or something to another. Render up the prisoners. Give or supply. The estate renders some revenue for the family. Pass down. Render a verdict. Show in, or as in, a picture. The face of the child is rendered with much tenderness in this painting. Restate. Words, from one language into another language. She rendered the French poem into English. Give back. Render money. Make over as a return. They had to render the estate. A substance similar to stucco but exclusively applied to masonry walls. Cause to become. The shot rendered her immobile. Coat with plastic or cement. Render the brick walls in the den. Give something useful or necessary to. Provide or equip with furniture. We furnished the house in the Biedermeier style. A fund accumulated regularly in a separate account and used to redeem debt securities. A summary of intended expenditures along with proposals for how to meet them. The President submitted the annual budget to Congress. A sum of money allocated for a particular purpose. The laboratory runs on a budget of $1 million a year. Make a budget. A fund reserved to pay workers' pensions when they retire from service. A financial institution that collects regular contributions from employers to provide retirement income for employees. A small fund of cash that a firm keeps for the payment of incidental expenses.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.